Mara stepped off the sleek transport ship, her boots clicking softly against the crystal floor of the alien capital. She took a deep breath, feeling both awe and tension. Towering spires shimmered with colors she had never seen before, and strange floating vehicles glided silently through the sky. The city was alive with motion and energy, yet it carried a weight of order she could not understand. Mara adjusted the strap of her bag, carrying documents and a few personal items. She was here as an ambassador from Earth, tasked with negotiating trade agreements and building trust with the alien empire. Humans had only recently begun interacting with this civilization, and every step felt like walking on fragile glass dot as she looked around. Her attention was drawn to a figure standing farther away. He was tall, heavily armored, and still. His helmet gleamed under the city lights, reflecting the crystalline spires. Mara felt a strange pull, though she did not know why. There was something familiar about him, though she could not place it. The figure's eyes visible through the visor of the helmet seemed to follow her as she walked. Mara frowned. Was it just her imagination? Alien guards were supposed to maintain vigilance. Yet this one felt different. Mara's escort, a young alien diplomat named Valen, noticed her gaze. "That is Kale," he said, his voice calm but firm. "He is part of the Royal Guard. He never leaves his post unless commanded by the Emperor. You have nothing to fear." Mara nodded, though unease still twisted in her stomach. She had read about the Royal Guard in reports stall, elite warriors, loyal to the Emperor and the Empire. Kale was known to be exceptional, even among them. His presence here seemed unusual, almost personal. They moved through the city streets, the air filled with soft hums and pulses of energy. Mara could feel the technology beneath the streets vibrating through the soles of her boots. Alien merchants traded strange items, glowing crystals, devices that floated in the air, and fabrics that shimmered as if alive. Mara marveled at it all, yet her mind kept drifting back to the armored figure. Suddenly, a commotion erupted ahead. Mara froze as she saw several alien workers shouting and pointing. A hover vehicle had malfunctioned, sending sparks flying dangerously close to the crowd. People scattered, shrieking in alarm. Without hesitation, Kale moved. Even though he was still some distance away, his stride was unnervingly fast. In moments, he reached the vehicle and used his strength to stabilize it, protecting the nearby workers from harm. Mara's eyes widened. The efficiency, the precision. Kale moved with purpose. Yet there was an elegance she had not expected. Valen whispered beside her, "He is unmatched. Even within the Royal Guard, Kale is considered extraordinary." Mara nodded, her curiosity growing. She wanted to understand him, yet at the same time, a quiet fear lingered. Why did his presence feel so personal? As the crowd dispersed, Kale turned his gaze toward her. For a brief moment, it felt as though he recognized her. Mara's heart skipped, but then he turned back to his post, as if nothing had happened. Later that evening, Mara attended a formal reception at the Imperial Palace. The grand hall gleamed with crystal chandeliers and walls that seemed to ripple with light. Alien officials moved gracefully, conversing in a language she barely understood, though translators provided her with the meaning. Mara tried to focus on her work, but her thoughts kept drifting to Kale. She remembered the way he had moved, the intensity in his eyes. Why did it feel like he knew her? Then, from across the hall, she saw him again. Kale had removed his helmet this time, revealing his face. His features were sharp, his eyes a deep amber that seemed to pierce through the crowd. And then he spoke. "You don't remember me, do you?" His voice was calm, yet it carried an unmistakable weight, like a question that demanded truth. Mara froze. She shook her head slowly. I don't," she admitted. Her voice was small, almost trembling. Kale stepped closer, his gaze softening slightly. "It has been a long time, Mara. I did not expect to see you here." Her mind raced. How could he know her name? Why did she feel a faint, almost forgotten memory stirring deep inside? She tried to recall anything, faces, voices, places, but her memories felt like fog. I think you must be mistaken," she said, though uncertainty laced her words. Kale's eyes searched hers, as if seeking confirmation of something buried deep. No mistake. He said quietly, "You were there, with me, on a world far from here. We save each other." Mara's pulse quickened. There was a flicker of something she could not name, it like a shadow of memory brushing against her mind. She shook her head, trying to focus. She was here on diplomatic duty. Memories from some distant past. They did not belong to her now. Before she could speak further, a sudden alarm echoed through the palace. Red lights flashed across the walls, and a tense murmur spread among the guests. Mara turned sharply, fear prickling at her skin. Something was happening, and it was serious. Kel's expression hardened. Without a word, he moved beside her, a silent promise of protection. His hand hovered near his weapon, ready for action. Mara realized then that the stories about the royal guard were true. Kale was more than just a soldier. He was a force to be reckoned with, and now, somehow, he was here for her. As the palace security rushed toward the source of the alarm, Mara felt a strange calm despite the fear. She did not know why, but Kel's presence gave her a sense of safety she could not explain. Whatever danger was coming, she knew he would face it by her side. And yet, the question lingered in her mind: how did he know her? And why did it feel like a part of her had been waiting for him all along? The first step of this unexpected reunion had begun, and Mara had no idea how much her life and the fate of a fragile human-alien alliance was about to change. The palace alarms rang loud, echoing through the grand crystal halls. Guests scrambled for cover as security personnel moved quickly, guiding diplomats and officials to safety. Mara felt her stomach tighten. She had expected meetings, discussions, and formalities, but not chaos. Kel's hand rested lightly on her shoulder, a gesture that was both protective and grounding. Mara had no idea why, but it calmed her racing thoughts. She followed him instinctively as he moved with fluid precision through the palace corridors. "Where are we going?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "To a secure location," Kale replied, his voice low but firm. "You are my responsibility." Mara frowned, uncertainty tugging at her mind. "My responsibility? You barely know me." Kale gave a small, almost imperceptible smile. "I have known you longer than you realize. Soon, you will remember." Before Mara could respond, a group of alien attackers burst through a side door. They wore dark armor and moved with terrifying speed. Clearly trained for infiltration and combat, Kale reacted instantly, drawing a sleek energy blade that hummed with power. He moved like a shadow, striking with accuracy and precision that left Mara momentarily stunned. "Stay behind me," Kale commanded. Mara nodded, her heart pounding. She had never been in a fight, but she sensed instinctively that Kale could protect her if she trusted him. The attackers advanced, but Kale was ready. He blocked their strikes with his blade and countered with swift, precise movements. Mara watched in awe. Each motion seemed calculated, yet effortless. There was no hesitation, no fear, only skill and determination. One of the attackers lunged toward Mara. She froze, unsure what to do, but Kale reacted immediately. He intercepted the attacker with a forceful strike, sending them crashing into a wall. "Are you all right?" he asked, his amber eyes scanning hers. I think so," Mara replied, her voice shaky. Kale nodded but did not relax. "Good. Stay close." They continued down the corridors, Kale leading the way. Mara noticed something. Strange, his movements were familiar, almost like she had seen them before, in a memory she could not reach. A flicker of recognition passed through her mind, but it vanished as quickly as it came. After several tense minutes, Kale led her to a hidden chamber beneath the palace. The room was small but secure, with walls reinforced by alien technology. Mara sank onto a chair, breathing heavily. "You are safe here for now," Kale said, closing the door behind them. Mara looked at him, her curiosity overcoming her fear. "Kale, you keep saying I will remember. What do you mean? How do you know me?" Kale removed his helmet fully this time, revealing his face in soft light. His expression was calm. but his eyes held something deeper: familiarity, hope, and a hint of sadness. "You were with me on the planet Arvesa," he said. "Do you remember it?" Mara shook her head. I don't think so. Arvesa? That doesn't sound familiar." Kale stepped closer. "It has been many cycles, many years. You were injured, and I saved your life. You saved mine. We survived together while others did not. You were different, even then." Mara's chest tightened. A strange warmth spread through her, as if a shadow of a memory brushed against her consciousness. She could not recall the planet, the battle, or the events he described, but something deep inside her felt connected, as if part of her soul remembered. I wish I could remember," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Kale nodded. "Memory can be lost, but it does not change who you are. The person you were, and the person you are now, are connected. That is why I am here." Mara looked at him, studying his features. There was something more than duty in his eyes, a bond, perhaps friendship, maybe even trust built over countless hardships. Yet she could not fully grasp it. Suddenly, the chamber shook. The palace security system detected intruders nearby. Kale's expression hardened. "They are trying to get to you," he said. "We need to move." Mara stood, her legs trembling slightly. "I want to help. I don't want to just hide." Kale studied her for a moment. "You are brave, but this mission requires patience. We must survive first, then fight." He activated a small device on his belt. A glowing panel appeared, displaying a map of the palace and nearby areas. Mara watched as he traced paths, planning their escape. "Look here," Kale said, pointing to a series of hidden corridors. "These passages lead to the old armory. We can reach it undetected and find what we need to defend ourselves." Mara nodded, impressed by his knowledge and strategy. She followed him silently as they moved through the hidden corridors, avoiding patrols and security drones. Every step felt like walking on a knife's edge. Along the way, Mara noticed something that made her pause. Symbols etched into the walls, the same symbols she had seen in a dream once, years ago. Before she left Earth, she ran her fingers over them, feeling a strange energy resonate beneath her touch. Kale glanced at her. "Those symbols marked the old pathways. You have seen them before, haven't you?" Mara shook her head. I think so, but I can't remember clearly." Kale smiled faintly. "Memory is tricky. It hides things until the right moment. When the time comes, you will recall, and you will understand why I am here with you." They reached the armory, a room filled with alien weapons, armor, and strange devices. Mara's eyes widened. The technology was unlike anything she had ever seen, yet Kale moved among it as if he belonged there. He handed her a small, lightweight weapon, showing her how to hold it. "This will protect you. But remember, it is not the weapon, it is your mind and heart that will keep you safe." Mara nodded, gripping the weapon tightly. She felt a surge of determination. If Kale could survive with her in the past, perhaps she could survive now with him guiding her. Outside, the sound of footsteps and alarms grew closer. Mara glanced at Kale, her resolve firming. "I'm ready," she said quietly. Kale's eyes met hers, and for the first time, Mara felt a flicker of trust she could not explain. "Good," he said. "Together, we face what comes next." And in that moment, Mara understood that her life, her future, and perhaps even her past were all tied to this alien guard and the memories she had yet to reclaim. The armory doors closed behind them with a soft thrum. Mara felt a momentary relief, but it was short-lived. The distant sounds of alarms and rapid footsteps reminded her that danger was still very close. She looked at Kale, who was already checking. A small map projected from his wrist device. "We don't have much time," Kale said. "They know we are here. If we stay, they will overwhelm us." Mara gripped the weapon he had given her, trying to steady her trembling hands. The sleek device was light, and Kale had shown her the basics, but she had never used anything like it before. Her heart raced, yet she felt an odd calm. Somehow, she trusted Kale completely, even though she barely understood why. Kale led the way through a hidden corridor. The walls glowed faintly with alien runes, lighting the path like stars in a dark sky. Mara's eyes wandered over them, a strange sense of familiarity stirring in her mind. She touched one lightly, and a memory flashed. A small, distant fragment, laughter, a green field, a voice calling her name. She blinked, shaking the memory away. I think I remember something, she whispered. Cale glanced at her, his eyes sharp and focused. Good, hold on to it, every fragment counts. They turned a corner, and suddenly, a squad of armored intruders appeared ahead. Cale's hand went to his energy blade. Stay behind me, he instructed. Mara nodded. Her pulse pounded in her ears, but she steadied herself. The attackers lunged forward, weapons raised. Cale moved like lightning, deflecting attacks and striking with precision. Mara watched closely, trying to imitate his movements even from behind him. She raised her weapon, firing a controlled energy pulse that hit one attacker squarely, sending them sprawling. Cale's amber eyes flicked to hers. Good, keep your focus. They continued through the labyrinthine corridors, encountering more intruders along the way. Each time, Cale protected her while she gradually became braver, firing her weapon and moving more confidently. Though she still lacked full combat skill, she realized that instinct and determination could sometimes match experience. As they turned into a quieter section of the palace, Cale paused. We need to split up for a moment, he said. Mara frowned. Split up? But what if they catch me? Cale shook his head. It will slow them down if we take separate routes. Trust me. Follow the path I will show you, and you will be safe. He handed her a small device, projecting a glowing line through the corridor. Follow this. It will guide you. Move quickly, but carefully. Mara hesitated, her mind spinning. Cale, why do you care so much? Cale's eyes softened for a moment, and he gave her a rare, small smile. Because I promised. Long ago, and promises should always be kept. Mara swallowed, feeling a strange warmth. She nodded and took a deep breath, focusing on the path. I'll do it. I trust you. Cale gave her a sharp nod. Good. Move now. She ran, following the glowing line through twisting passages. Every sense was alert. Shadows moved strangely in the dim light, and she could hear distant footsteps. Her mind flashed again with fragments of memory. Cale's voice, laughter, a flash of green light. It felt like a puzzle with missing pieces. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her. She spun, weapon ready, and saw a lone intruder rushing toward her. Mara's pulse spiked, but instinct took over. She fired a quick pulse, hitting the intruder squarely. They stumbled but did not fall. Cale's voice echoed faintly through the communicator on her wrist. Keep moving. Don't stop. Mara ran, ducking and weaving through the corridors. Her legs ached, her chest heaved, but the glowing line guided her, and Cale's voice kept her focused. Finally, she reached a small maintenance shaft. Cale's device projected a soft arrow pointing upward. She climbed the ladder, reaching a narrow passage that led toward the palace gardens. Fresh air and open space greeted her. But Mara did not relax. She knew they were still being pursued. Cale emerged from another route moments later, his armor slightly scuffed but his expression calm. He extended a hand. Ready? Mara nodded, stepping closer. Yes, I'm ready. Together, they moved through the palace gardens. The alien flora shimmered under the moonlight, flowers glowing faintly, and strange insects floated gently in the air. Mara marveled at the beauty, even in the midst of danger. Cale kept them low, scanning for threats. They will not give up easily, he said. But we have an advantage. We know these paths. Mara realized that the garden reminded her of something, another memory, a moment long buried. She could see herself running alongside Cale, laughing, and then a sudden attack. She shook her head, trying to push the memory away, but the feeling lingered. Cale, I think I remember a little, she whispered. He looked at her, eyes intense. Good. That is the start. Cling to it. Memories are not just pictures, they are strength. They will guide you. Suddenly, a group of intruders appeared at the far end of the garden. Cale stepped forward, energy blade in hand. Mara raised her weapon. For the first time, she felt like more than just a victim. The intruders charged, Kale moved with precision, deflecting attacks, while Mara fired alongside him. They moved as a unit, instinctively coordinating. Mara felt the strange bond between them, even if she could not fully understand it. One of the attackers fell to the ground, and Mara's heart pounded with adrenaline. She had survived the chase, fought alongside Kale, and felt herself reconnecting. With something lost, Kale glanced at her. You are learning quickly. More importantly, you are remembering who you are. Mara nodded, a faint smile on her lips. I think I am. A little. Kale's expression softened. That is enough for now. We rest, and then we continue. There's more to uncover, and more danger ahead. Mara looked at him, determination growing. She no longer felt entirely lost. With Kale by her side, she could face whatever came next. And she sensed, deep inside, that the memories she had yet to reclaim would change everything: her past, her present, and the fate of the Alliance. She now protected Dot. The chase was over for the moment, but Mara knew that the true challenge was just beginning. The garden was quiet now, bathed in soft moonlight. Mara sat on a smooth crystal bench, still gripping the weapon Kale had given her. Her chest rose and fell rapidly, and her legs shook from the chase, but her mind was restless. Memories teased her, flickers of a past she couldn't fully grasp. Kale knelt beside her, observing her closely. Rest for a moment, he said gently. Your body is tired, but your mind is racing. That is normal when fragments return. Mara looked at him, confusion and curiosity mixing in her expression. Fragments? What do you mean? Kale's amber eyes softened. When memory is lost, pieces remain hidden. They surface slowly. Often when the mind is ready, you have begun to see yours. She swallowed, trying to focus on the feelings more than the missing details. She remembered. A flash, laughter, sunlight on green fields, and Kale's voice calling her name. The image was fleeting, yet it left a warm impression in her heart. Why do you care so much about me? She asked quietly. We barely know each other now. Or at least, I barely know you. Kale studied her for a moment, his face calm. Because I promised long ago, and because you are part of something bigger than yourself. You survived on Arvesa, Mara. You fought, you led, you protected others. That strength, it still exists in you. Mara's pulse quickened. The words stirred a deep sense of pride and fear at the same time. Could she truly be that person again? Could she trust herself to face whatever danger lay ahead? A soft sound interrupted her thoughts, a low hum echoing through the garden. Mara tensed. Weapon raised, Kale stood quickly, scanning the area. They are here, he said, voice firm but calm. Another group of intruders. They know we escaped. We must move. Mara followed him, heart pounding. As they moved through the alien flora, Mara felt the memories stir again. Kale's face. The way he had protected her, a moment when they had both been trapped but had survived together. The image was stronger now, as if her mind was giving her a hint of what she had forgotten. They reached a narrow bridge connecting two spires of the palace gardens. Below, the city lights sparkled, distant and beautiful. Kale led the way, his movements confident and precise. Mara followed, matching his pace as best she could. Suddenly, a shadow moved along the bridge. Mara raised her weapon instinctively. Kale's hand went to hers, steadying it. Wait, he whispered. We do not know if it is friend or foe. The shadow emerged, another alien, smaller, dressed in sleek dark armor. But Mara's eyes widened in recognition. She had seen this figure before, in a dream or maybe in a memory, fighting alongside Kale. The intruder paused, looking directly at them. Kale's expression darkened. This is unexpected. He muttered. The figure spoke in a low voice. Kale, you brought her here. I did not expect this. Mara glanced between them, confusion twisting her mind. Who is that? She whispered. Kale's eyes never left the figure. An old ally, he said cautiously, and perhaps a warning. The figure stepped closer, and Mara noticed the faint glow of a device strapped to their chest. It pulsed with energy, similar to the ones Kale had shown her in the armory. She is recovering memories too quickly, the figure said, eyes sharp. If she remembers too much, the balance will change. Mara's mind spun. She barely understood the words, but a feeling of urgency settled deep in her chest. Her memories were important not just for her, but for the future. Kale stepped forward, positioning himself between Mara and the figure. You will not harm her. Not now. Not ever. The figure hesitated, then nodded slowly. I mean no harm. Kale. But others may come. You must be careful. Mara's heart raced. Others who? Why? She asked. Kale looked at her, expression serious. There are those who want to control memory, control the past, and use it to shape the future. They will try to stop you from remembering, but I will not let them. Mara felt a strange mix of fear and determination. The fragments of memory within her seemed to pulse with new energy. As if responding to Kel's words, she realized that she was not helpless, not anymore. Then I want to learn, she said firmly. I want to remember. I want to be ready for whatever comes next. Kel's eyes softened, a rare smile crossing his face. That is good. But first, we need to find a secure place where you can recover and train. The palace is too dangerous. Right now, they moved quickly, using secret passages and hidden pathways. Mara began to feel a sense of confidence she had not known before. Her weapon felt lighter in her hands, and her senses were sharper. The shadows of the garden, the flickering lights, the distant sounds all seemed to sharpen her awareness. As they reached a hidden chamber near the palace outskirts, Kale gestured for her to sit. Here, you can rest safely for a while. I will stay with you. Mara sank onto a soft bench, exhaustion catching up with her. She looked at Kale, questions forming in her mind. Kale, why did I forget? Why did my memory vanish? Kale knelt beside her, his hand brushing hers lightly. Sometimes, memory is lost to protect us or to protect others. But fragments remain, waiting for the right time to return. You are ready now, Mara. That is why I am here. She looked into his amber eyes, searching for answers and finding reassurance. She did not fully understand the past, but she could feel the bond, the connection that had survived time and distance. Then I will remember, she said softly. I will not let them take that away from me again. Kale nodded. And I will help you. Together. We will face whatever comes. You are not alone. Outside, the garden shimmered under the moonlight. Mara felt the pulse of energy through the city, the hum of life and danger intertwined. She was beginning to reclaim herself, one memory at a time, and with Kale by her side, she knew she could face the coming challenges. The first echoes of her past had returned, and with them, the strength to confront the future. Mara woke to a quiet hum in the hidden chamber. Sunlight, or something like it, filtered through the alien crystal windows, painting the walls with soft colors. She stretched, feeling stronger than the day before. Kale sat across from her, sharpening his energy blade with careful precision. You slept well? He asked, glancing up. Mara nodded. I think I needed it. I feel different today. Stronger, maybe. Kale's amber eyes softened. Good. Rest is part of recovery. But soon, you will need more than rest. You will need to fight. Mara's gaze dropped to the weapon in her hands. The small device had become familiar over the past day. She had practiced with Kale, learning its weight, its energy flow. She had fired it several times under his guidance, improving with each attempt. But she knew that practice would not fully prepare her for what was coming. Kale stood and gestured for her to follow. We move. Today, we test what you've learned. You are ready for the first trial. Mara followed him through winding tunnels that led toward the palace outskirts. The alien city stretched far below them, bright and alive, yet filled with shadows and danger. Mara's senses were alert, picking up the faintest vibrations in the ground, the quiet hum of machinery, even the faint traces of intruders nearby. Kale stopped at the edge of a wide-open plaza. Here, he said, we train and fight. I will not hold back, but I will guide you. You must trust yourself. Mara gripped her weapon tightly. I trust you. Kale nodded, a rare smile on his face. Good. Remember, it is not just the weapon. It is your mind, your awareness, your instincts. Use them all. He raised his hand, and from the shadows, figures emerged training drones designed to simulate attackers. They moved quickly, circling Mara and Kale. Mara's pulse quickened, but she felt no fear. The fragments of memory that had begun to return gave her a strange sense of confidence. The drones lunged first at Kale. He deflected them with precise strikes, energy arcs lighting up the plaza. Mara followed his movements closely, imitating his stance, timing, and focus. When a drone approached her, she raised her weapon instinctively. The energy pulse fired smoothly, hitting its target squarely. Kel's eyes flicked to hers. Good. Keep your focus. Move with intent. The exercise grew more intense. Drones attacked from multiple directions. Mara ducked, jumped, and fired, each movement bringing more confidence. She began to anticipate the drone's motions, predicting where they would strike, and responding with accuracy. After several minutes, the drones deactivated, floating to the ground harmlessly. Mara's chest heaved with exertion, but a smile formed on her face. She had never imagined she could move like this, react like this, or feel so alive. Kale approached her. You are learning quickly, he said. More importantly, you are remembering yourself. That is what matters most. Mara's thoughts drifted back to the memories. She could see fragments of the battlefield on Arvesta, the green fields, the flashes of light, the danger, and Kel's presence beside her. She had survived then, and she could survive now. Suddenly, an alarm echoed through the city. Mara's heart leapt. Kel's expression hardened. Real intruders. We must move immediately. They raced through the plaza, heading toward the city's defensive walls. Mara fired her weapon at the attackers who were closing in, her movements fluid now. Guided by instinct and memory, Kale fought beside her, deflecting blasts and striking with precision. The attackers were a mix of rogue aliens and mercenaries, clearly hired to capture or eliminate her. Mara felt a surge of adrenaline. She had trained, but this was the real test. Every step, every strike mattered. An intruder appeared behind Kale, aiming for a surprise attack. Mara reacted without thinking, firing her weapon. The energy pulse struck true, knocking the attacker away. Kale glanced at her, eyes wide with approval. You saved me, he said, his voice calm but filled with recognition. Mara felt a warmth spread through her. I remembered. Just a little, she said. Kale nodded. That is enough for now. Trust your instincts. Trust your training. Trust yourself. They moved forward together, clearing a path through the attackers. Mara noticed the coordination between them, silent and natural. Every glance, every movement seemed connected, as if they had fought together before. Her confidence grew with each step. They reached a narrow alley where the attackers tried to corner them. Mara and Kale back to back. They defended against the assault. Mara fired with precision, striking each attacker who came too close. Kale's blade moved in arcs of light, cutting through threats without hesitation. Finally, the last attackers were driven back. Mara's chest heaved, and her hands shook slightly, but a sense of triumph filled her. She had fought and survived alongside Kale. She had begun to reclaim her past strength and courage. Kale looked at her, amber eyes shining with pride. You have done well today. This is only the beginning, but you have taken the first step. You are ready for what comes next. Mara smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. I feel like I remember who I am, a little more each time. Kale's gaze softened. You are more than that, Mara. You are a survivor, a fighter, and soon, the full truth will come back to you. As they stood together, watching the city lights shimmer below, Mara realized how much had changed. She was no longer the unsure woman who had arrived at the palace. She was learning, remembering, and growing stronger every moment, and with Kale by her side, she knew she could face whatever danger awaited them. The first battle was over, but Mara understood it was only the beginning. She had begun to reclaim herself, and she would need all her strength, skill, and memories to face the challenges still to come. The city was quiet now, but Mara sensed the calm was temporary. The events of the past day, the chase, the training, the battle had left her alert and aware of every movement. She followed Kale through the hidden corridors toward a secure location outside the palace. Where are we going now? she asked, her voice steady despite the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. Kale glanced at her, his expression serious. There's a place where you can safely recover and continue training, but we must be cautious. The attackers are not done. Someone is coordinating them, and we do not know who. Mara nodded. She gripped her weapon tighter. The fragments of memory inside her were stronger now. Images of Arvesa and the battles she had survived flickering in her mind. But she knew that remembering was only part of the challenge. She needed to act. As they moved through a narrow tunnel beneath the city, Kale suddenly stopped. His senses, honed by years of experience, had detected something Mara could not immediately feel. Something is wrong, he said quietly. We are being followed. Mara froze. Her heart raced. But she trusted Kale. He was calm, alert, ready. She moved closer to him. What do we do? She whispered. Kale's hand went to her shoulder. We confront it carefully. But first, stay behind me. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a tall, armored intruder whose movements were deliberate and precise. Mara's pulse quickened. This was no ordinary attacker. The energy in the air around them seemed to hum with danger. Kale stepped forward. Identify yourself, he demanded. The intruder removed their helmet, revealing a face that Mara did not recognize, but Kale's eyes widened with recognition. Kale, the intruder said, voice calm yet carrying authority. You were warned. You should not have brought her here. Kale's jaw tightened. And yet, I did. She belongs with me. No one will harm her. The intruder's eyes flicked to Mara. You are recovering quickly. That is dangerous for you and for others. You must not remember too much, or the balance will be lost. Mara frowned. Balance? What do you mean? Kale stepped protectively in front of her. Ignore them. He said firmly, we decide our own path, not threats, not warnings. The intruder studied them for a moment, then nodded slowly. This is only the beginning. Others will come. Be ready. With that, the intruder vanished back into the shadows, leaving a faint trace of energy that Mara could feel tingling through the floor. She turned to Kale, her mind spinning. Who are they? She asked, voice low. Kale shook his head. A faction within the Empire. They believe memories like yours should be controlled. They see your recollection as a threat. Mara's heart tightened. A threat? To whom? To those who fear the truth, Kale replied. They want to control the past, shape the future. And you, Mara, hold memories they cannot allow to exist. Mara felt a mixture of fear and determination, the fragments of memory in her mind. The courage and strength she had begun reclaiming. They were dangerous to some, yes, but they were hers. She would not let anyone take them away. Kale led her out of the tunnels, through a secret passage, and into a secluded training facility hidden beneath a forest of glowing alien flora. The area was safe, shielded from detection by advanced technology. Mara felt a sense of relief. But it was short-lived. She knew that danger would come again, and soon. This place will allow you to train, recover, and grow stronger, Kale said. But you must remain alert. We cannot predict when the next attack will come. Mara nodded. I understand. I am ready to fight if I must. Kale smiled faintly. Good. But first, we build your skills. You need more than memory. You need control, agility, and precision. We will start with combat exercises, strategy, and awareness drills. Over the next hours, Mara trained with Kale. They practiced hand-to-hand combat, weapon techniques, and tactical maneuvers. Mara's confidence grew with each exercise, and her memory fragments became clearer. She remembered more of Arvesa, the terrain, the battles, even Kale's guidance and presence beside her. You are improving faster than I expected, Kale said, observing her movements. You are ready for the next step. But we must also prepare for intelligence, knowing our enemy before they strike. Mara looked at him, determination in her eyes. I want to know. I want to understand everything so I can face them. Kale nodded. Good. Knowledge and awareness are as important as strength. The intruder warned us that others will come. We need to anticipate their moves. Suddenly, the ground trembled faintly. Mara froze. Sensing danger instinctively, Kale's eyes narrowed. They are coming, he said. Prepare yourself. From the forest beyond the training facility, figures emerged, dozens of attackers. Moving quickly and silently, armed with advanced energy weapons, Mara felt a surge of adrenaline. She was ready. Kale took his position beside her. Remember your training. Focus on your instincts. We fight. Together. The attackers charged, and Mara moved with precision, firing her weapon, ducking, and striking. Kale fought beside her, deflecting attacks and guiding her through the chaos. The bond between them was evident, movements coordinated, instincts aligned out. As the battle raged, Mara's memories became sharper. She recalled past strategies, the way she had survived Arvesa, and Kel's guidance. Every memory fueled her courage and skill. She was not just surviving, she was reclaiming her past power, standing strong beside the man who had protected her once before. The attackers began to falter under their combined skill. Mara's aim was precise, her movements confident. Kel's blade cut through threats with unmatched efficiency. Together, they pushed the intruders back, forcing them to retreat into the shadows. When the dust settled, Mara's chest heaved, but she stood tall, weapon in hand. Kale looked at her, pride evident in his eyes. "You did well," he said softly. "You faced real danger and survived. More importantly, you remembered who you are while doing it." Mara smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. I think. I understand now. I remember more, and I know what I need to do." Kale nodded. "Good. But remember, this is only the beginning. The enemies we face are cunning. We must remain vigilant, and we must continue to reclaim the truth." Mara looked at the forest beyond the facility, where shadows still lingered. She felt a deep sense of resolve. Whatever challenges awaited, she would face them with Kale beside her, her memories guiding her, and her strength growing every day. The hidden threat had revealed itself. But Mara knew one thing for certain. She was no longer the woman who had arrived at the palace uncertain and afraid. She was ready to fight, to remember, and to reclaim the life and the past that had been stolen from her. The hidden training facility was silent, the forest outside glowing softly under the alien moonlight. Mara stood at the edge of the open clearing, her weapon in hand, and Kale beside her. Both of them were alert, ready for whatever would come. "Kale," Mara said, her voice steady, "I feel like I remember more. Not just moments, but why it matters. Why I survived Arvesa. Why we survived together." Kale's amber eyes softened. "You are right. The memories are returning. But there is one final truth you must remember. Only then will you understand your strength and why others fear it." Mara nodded. "I'm ready." Before Kale could respond, movement appeared at the edge of the forest. Figures emerged, more numerous than before. This time, it was clear they were elite attackers, fully armed, highly trained, and relentless. Mara's chest tightened, but she felt no fear. She had trained. She had remembered. She had Kale by her side. "They are here," Kale said. "Stay close. Focus on your instincts. Together, we can face them." The attackers charged, energy weapons blazing. Mara moved instinctively, firing her weapon with precision. Kale's blade hummed as he deflected attacks, striking with unmatched skill. Mara's movements were fluid, her confidence growing with every step. Amid the chaos, Mara felt a sudden surge of memory, clear and vivid. She remembered the battle on Arvesa, the way she had coordinated with Kale, the fear, the strategy, and the victory. She remembered the promise they had made to each other, to protect, to survive, and to reclaim the truth. A flash of insight hit her. She knew how to end this fight before it escalated further. "Kale," she shouted, "we need to flank them." From both sides, now. Kale's eyes widened, then he nodded. "Good thinking. Let's move." Mara and Kale split strategically, moving with coordination and skill. Mara's weapon discharged energy pulses that incapacitated attackers without lethal force, while Kale moved through the fray, protecting her and striking with efficiency. Together, they created a perfect rhythm, a combination of instinct, memory, and training. The attackers faltered, unable to anticipate their movements. Mara realized that her memories were giving her more than courage. They were giving her foresight, an instinctive understanding of the battle. She saw patterns, predicted attacks, and moved with precision that surprised even her. Finally, the last intruder fell back, retreating into the shadows. Mara lowered her weapon slightly, her chest heaving. Kale stood beside her, blade glowing. Faintly, eyes scanning the perimeter. "You did exceptionally well," he said quietly. "You not only fought, but you remembered. You remembered why you are strong and why you survived." Mara looked at him, a faint smile forming. "I feel it now, everything. The past, the battles, the promise. I understand why it matters. I remember us." Kale stepped closer, his expression gentle. "Yes, you remember us, and now, you also remember yourself." Mara's heart swelled. The fear and uncertainty that had plagued her for weeks faded, replaced by clarity and determination. She understood that the attacks were not just about her, they were about controlling a past that could not be hidden, and she was no longer powerless. Kale placed a hand on her shoulder. "There's one final piece," he said. "The one who seeks to control your memories. He waits in the palace. He believes he can manipulate the past, erase what you remember, and shape the future. But we can stop him." Mara nodded, gripping her weapon tightly. "Then we stop him together." They moved swiftly, leaving the hidden facility and returning to the palace. The city lights sparkled below, but the palace itself was dark, tense, and alert. Mara's instincts guided her as they infiltrated through secret passages, avoiding patrols and surveillance drones. At last, they reached the throne room. There, waiting, was the mastermind, the one who had orchestrated the attacks, the one who sought to control her memory. He was tall, imposing, and radiated authority. His eyes flicked with surprise as Mara stepped forward. You remember," he said, his voice calm but edged with frustration. "I remember everything," Mara replied firmly, "and I will not let you control it." Kale moved beside her, energy blade raised. "Step back. She will not be harmed. Not now, not ever." The mastermind smirked. "You're brave. But do you understand what is at stake? The memories she holds, the power they contain, could change everything." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Then we will change it, but not for you, for us, for everyone who deserves freedom." With a sudden movement, the mastermind attacked. Kale intercepted immediately, his blade striking with precision, deflecting energy attacks. Mara moved beside him, weapon firing in rhythm with his movements. Together, they fought as one. Instincts aligned, memories guiding their actions. Mara's confidence and skill had grown beyond anything she had imagined. She anticipated attacks, defended with precision, and struck with determination. Kale's presence beside her amplified her abilities, forming a seamless partnership. Finally, with a coordinated strike, Kale disarmed the mastermind, while Mara disabled his device meant to control her memories. He fell to his knees, defeated, and Mara's chest heaved with triumph. "You cannot erase me," she said firmly, voice steady. "And you cannot control the past. It belongs to me, to us, and to everyone who fought for it." Kale nodded, smiling. Softly, "You have reclaimed everything. Your past, your strength, your memory, and your future." Mara looked at him, feeling a deep bond, a connection that went beyond words. She remembered everything now, the battles, the promises, the trust, the courage. And she knew that with Kale by her side, they could face anything. Outside the palace, the city shimmered under the moonlight. Mara took a deep breath, letting the calm wash over her. She had survived, remembered, and reclaimed her life. The threat was gone, the past restored, and the future open. Kale placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You are ready for what comes next, Mara. Together, we will protect what we hold dear." Mara smiled, her heart light and strong. "Yes, together." And with that, they stepped forward, leaving the shadows behind, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them side by side, stronger than ever, and guided by the memories they had reclaimed.